And good evening, everyone. It's Off the Ropes. That's right. Episode number 50, fellas. 50. We're halfway to 100. That's crazy to say, but good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. NSN Brett Swinney. Tonight we've got Dirt Sheet Brandon Ogden here, and we've got Jeremy the Jim Diamond. Welcome, fellas.
What's up?
Are y'all tired of wrestling yet? There's a lot of wrestling over the weekend.
And I feel like the most compelling wrestling I watched was this morning from last night. So
yeah. I mean, I still haven't gotten to watch NXT yet. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I want to go. I haven't got to watch.
I won't spoil anything. I'll just say I texted someone this earlier today. Is like, you know, there's Raws where we say there's a bad Raw. There's SmackDowns a bad Raw. Lots of Dynamite's collisions with. Just NXT, it may not ever be like just knock out the park home run, but like they just never have a bad show. It's always like compelling.
Yeah.
And like week to week, just especially this like past year, like it's just every week there's something, and they mix different people in. They got good stories, and then, and what they got going on right now, it's very interesting. I almost spoiled too much, but there was some big stuff last night.
Yeah, I kind of saw a little bit, but I do want to get back and watch it. But again, just trying to catch up. You know, I had 2 birthday parties over the weekend. Everything else, we did the show last night. Trying to get caught up and stay caught up has been challenging. And so I've, as we'll talk about here in a minute, we're going to talk about All Out. But Brandon, we're going to rely a lot on you on this, as I've watched about 2/3 of the show, and not every one of the matches I watched the entire match. I watched enough of the match to kind of get the gist of what went on and what happened, and so we'll definitely talk about it. But before we get started, what do you think going on that we but since then, I guess you've mentioned NXT. So if you're not watching NXT right now, on Brandon's recommendation, it's a must watch every Tuesday. I try to fit it in, between everything else. I mean, I don't know why I don't have time, Jeremy. It's not like I'm doing any football games or any other shows.
About 8 games in 4 weeks. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
Hey, but you get Thursday night off, which is tomorrow night. You get to enjoy your evening. You get to go watch your daughter play volleyball.
Yeah, a little volleyball tomorrow night. So I'm not gonna. I know I was kind of weird this week. I was prepping for the games this week, and I only prepped for one, and it was kind of strange.
You got one.
Like I was cheating or something.
You got one big one. I wonder if Brandon. Where's Brandon? Brandon, where are you going to be this week?
Jeremy knows where I'll be.
That's true.
Oh, you're going to be okay. Well, I know your phone might be you might be watching some NetSN this week, Brandon.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad. Because I thought I remembered from the previous show that you were doing this game, and then I got confirmation but I couldn't remember for sure. But then I got confirmation on Beast from the East show, but my wife and son were both asking me because they were originally, because she's homecoming, so they were originally going to go, but instead they're not going to go. And my son's like, but I hope it's on YouTube. So there we go.
Oh, he knows where to find that stuff, Brandon.
Right.
He's training right.
He's been training well.
That's 2 teams y'all normally don't do. So like that's
yeah. But and
I'm super pumped. Yeah,
y'all are calling that game, right?
Yes, me and Jeremy will be on the call for that one, and I'll be in at Grace Community tomorrow night for a little neutral site game between Timpson and Wolf City.
I saw that on the show. I had no idea that game. I knew that game was happening. I had no idea it was here in Tyler.
Yeah,
they didn't advertise that at all.
Yeah, and so
you're the first person that's announced that.
Larry,
breaking news.
Oh yeah, so Larry actually had picked the game up originally. And he was going to do it. I think it was going to be in Timpson, or he thought, and then. He's like, hey, it's going to be at Grace. Do you guys want? I was like, sure, we'll take it. So it's like 5 minutes down the road for me. So Jason's going to be with me since Jeremy's taking the night off. And so, which could be a good one. I think it was a pretty high scoring affair last year. I'm interested to see the running back, H.D. Davis. He's committed to Kansas State. So I'm excited to get to see him.
He's the real deal.
Jeremy, I know it's not Kansas, but Kansas State's a little better in football usually. So
this year not so much. I don't know. They've had a pretty rough road. They went to Ireland, and ever since then they've kind of been off kilter. Oh, that's Scotland. My bad. Brandon, I'm jealous for you because you're going to be up there at Wilkerson, Sanders, and that's a great stadium, and they've got a great press box and set up.
I gotta go twice this year though. They used to split it up, and this year they send me up there twice. So.
I think
three road trips are 2 Rock Falls and a Royce City.
Ooh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, we went to Kaufman last week. That was about as far, I think, as I'm going this year since we're not doing any. Yeah. Now, they'll be going to Austin tomorrow. The Regents Brookhill crew, Jeremy and Rob and Chad and those guys will be going down there. So I think they're finding it interesting. It'll be interesting to see what kind of view they get. There's not a whole lot of press box stands area, so I'm going to be interested this week. So, but all right, want to talk some wrestling, fellas?
Let's do it.
Everybody's on the edge of their seat.
Before we get into each match and card stuff, I do have like an overarching thought on this, because So I'll be on it because you said you're going to lean on me for
go for it.
And I have notes on all that for all the matches, and I was more like because my setup. I got the 4 TVs, and during early session I had college football, the Tech game on the big TV. And then whatever game came on after that, I think there was a Texas game. I think after that I had like four games on the big TV, another one on the TV right under it, and then I have the TV with the service that has All Out, so that like that I got to watch All Out on a certain TV, and so I have that there, so I have the sound on All Out from 2 to 6, but I'm still watching college football too, but I'm watching all the matches. But then, at 6 comes, Wrestlepalooza starts. So I put Wrestlepalooza on the big TV. Sound goes over too. But I'm like still, trying to keep a tab on All Out. But like, I'm not as locked. And so here's my thing. Because we know how long AEW pay-per-views are. And so we knew, hey, this is going to overlap. Well, they moved theirs up because Wrestlepalooza was announced. My thought is, you should have kept it at 7 o'clock and do your normal thing, because then all your matches that weren't very good, that they go. I mean, because you're not going to beat Wrestlepalooza anyway, so put them then. Because I thought what they did was an injustice to Fletcher and Hangman, because from all accounts it was a great match, but I did it. I couldn't give my full attention to it. And it wasn't even against Cena and Lesnar. It was against the Usos and the Brawns. But I couldn't give my full attention to it because, and I know that their job is to try to take it, but it's just not going to happen. And so I couldn't give my full attention to that match. And I felt that was an injustice to them, because you're giving some of these early matches, like Eddie Kingston and Big Bill, you're giving them their own spotlight. We'll get into that.
Right.
You're giving them their own spotlight. Put them up against.
Reverse load it.
Yeah,
like put your heavies early when you have your own space and nobody can overlap you, and then do what you normally do and go till midnight and have, and then everybody, because then everybody's gonna be. We'll get into it, but a lot of people are probably disappointed with things about Wrestlepalooza. So like, oh, well, what can we watch? We can turn over to AEW now and watch. Oh wait, Hangman and Fletcher put on a banger. Oh, Toni Storm's defending her title, and like that was the time. So. They did. I mean, we'll get into it here in a little bit, but they did right when Wrestlepalooza come on. They came in with a huge moment. They brought some heat right when Wrestlepalooza started, and that was kind of cool. But other than that, there were certain things I did like. I'm watching it, but I didn't see some of the things until I saw on social media because I was locked into the other things. So I thought they could have planned better than that. But we're going to have this battle because they're going to keep booking against each other, but I think like I said, AEW should just stay put, and so.
Well, I wish they would just be set. Like, I guess when they load it up, it gets us. We could do one show for both cards, and it's just a lot. Like if you don't have a free day, like Saturday is like all open, which a lot of times mine isn't. I've got my son's soccer usually during the day at some time, and the rest of the day is usually, freed up, but, I never know when his games are going to be. And this week we had birthday parties and all that. So it's just hard to get it all in.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we were able to get back in time to watch Wrestlepalooza. because Beckham, he's like, oh, my birthday's perfect. I have wrestling all day. Like he was all excited about getting to watch wrestling all day, and we missed the entire first show because his game and then the party. So that's why I've been trying to catch up with him a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know where to put your card. You're gonna have to kind of try to guess, and I think it was, I don't know, WWE kind of front loaded their card too a little bit. I mean, he started with what it could have been the main event. So I don't know. It's just gonna be this back and forth. I do like, though, the more they're battling and there's competition, it's gonna make them step up their game where it should. So it's better. It could be back in the day when WWE had no competition and it was so bad for the longest time, and it was so terrible. And then AEW came around and we liked it for a while. It was like, oh, it was new, it was fresh. We liked it. They were booking well. And then now it's kind of flipped where, they just kind of, I think, throw darts at a wall and then, oh, these two guys are going to fight sometimes. Good matches usually, which I enjoy their pay-per-views a lot of times for the actual match. It's just like, why are they fighting is usually, that's why I think.
Yeah, I think that's their struggle is they'll develop one storyline well, and then the other 5 or 6 are just kind of haphazardly thrown together, right? Like Don Callis comes out and yells at somebody, and all of a sudden there's a match, right? Like instead of, and I think that's the thing that's hurting them a lot is just the lack of like the desire to see what happens. It's like, oh, if I missed it, I missed it. It wasn't a big deal. Where like you see, Seth and CM Punk, and you're like, I'm not even sure if they really don't hate each other. Like they might actually not like, you know what I mean? Like I think it's done in such a way where you really feel the buy-in.
Yeah, let's go and talk about the 0 hour real quick, Brandon. I see. I know you're so excited about it. That's what I first.
Well, they don't call it that no more. This one was it was called tailgate brawl.
Oh well, I have the graphic here. It says AEW All Out Toronto 0 hour. So I mean, maybe it was something else. I didn't. I'll be honest. I completely did not watch the 0 hour. But here's what matches I have. I have Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs versus the Work Horsemen. Who are the Work Horsemen? I don't even know who that is.
I did not see that one.
I don't even know who the Work Horseman is. Let's see.
I missed that match.
Henry, Anthony. I don't know who those guys are.
They must have started super early too, because I was, like you said, have games on Saturday. Well, my son had a football game, and then after his game, we went 8 in Mineola, and then we came home. But then it was like, because like his game's at 10, we ate. We got back home by like 12:30.
Where'd you drive to Mineola for, Brandon? It must have been a good place if you drove to Mineola.
No, that's where his game was.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, they play in Mineola. Like, well, this week they play in Grand Slam, but last week they played in Mineola.
Oh, okay, so they kind of travel around.
Did you get you some Brian's cheesecake while you're up there in Mineola?
I didn't know because it was Saturday, but we're not open. Yeah, then we just kind of go. But yeah, but then we get back home about 12:30, and then I turn it on, and the Garcia Shibata match already started. I didn't know there was a match before that.
Yeah. Samoa Joe and Hobbs defeated the Work Horseman, whoever that is. Since you missed that, Brandon.
It sounds like one of those jobber nicknames, right? Like the Work Horseman, and they come out and like
know who that is.
Have jackets with ponies on them or something.
The Work Horseman, it must be an ROH team because they lost a 6-team gauntlet on September 6th. That was the last time they were in action. So
yeah, well, the first match I saw was Garcia and Shibata.
Okay,
and then we got newly the new version of Garcia. He's a member of the Death Riders now. He's kind of interesting heel turn, and I will see where they go with that. But Garcia won. He's a new side of him. It's a good 0 hour match, I guess, and. I saw a hologram and conglomeration. They won. I can't even remember who they faced. I just wrote that they won.
The Frat House.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
AR Fox and the Kingdom.
Yeah, and then interesting
because the Kingdom that they kind of separated out from. I don't know when that happened, but they were all there was the Undisputed Kingdom, and now I guess the Kingdom is split by themselves.
I guess so. And then Willow had a team against like Megan Bain and them, and I know Willow's team won. And I like that was a lot of interesting women in that match, so that was fun. But yeah, so that's another thing with AEW. Like WWE, people complain, they'll say, oh, this title's never defended on a PLE, or this person never gets to fight on a PLE, and like stuff. But in AEW, everybody and every title is always on every PLE. It's not special, like because and whether it's on the main card, which is 10 matches, so most time you're gonna get on the main card, and if you don't get on the main card, you're getting on the pre-show. You're like every pay-per-view, you're getting on there because that's what. And I guess should be.
Brandon, we call this the upward theory, like the stickers. Jeremy will know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know
you get a match, you get a match, you get a match, you get a match. Everybody gets a match. Everybody's a winner. Everyone gets a match.
Yeah,
I get that out of it. Like you have to let's. This is a special card. This is not just a normal show. You should have to earn your way on, and they don't here. It's just anybody gets on,
and especially this time because you're talking about how AEW because there's people you want to watch. Well, a lot of the times the people you want to watch for these pay-per-views, they weren't available for this one, so then you have to throw other people in because Ospreay wasn't available, Omega wasn't available, Swerve wasn't available. Like, so
yeah. Well, and I can't figure out the Megan Bain booking. She shows up the very first time and like she's supposed to be this destructive force and like unstoppable Amazon
should already be
goddess.
the TBS champion,
right? And then they throw her in. She's in 0 hour. I'm like, and. I mean, maybe I'm not saying she's a phenomenal wrestler, but if you're going to play her up to this character, then you can't have her in 0 hour a few months after she debuts and then make me believe that and maybe they're trying to learn from their Jade Cargill mistake where they probably put somebody that couldn't wrestle a little too fast, but there's a balance in there somewhere. Either don't make her indestructible right away, or I don't know. It just seems weird. They kind of fumbled the bag on that one to me.
And what I've seen from
put a girl like that in there.
Yeah, what I've seen from her, she can wrestle. Like she looks impressive, and so I think she should have beat Mercedes a long time ago. But
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Like, don't put her in 0 hour. She should be, even if it's not for the big title, she should be fighting for a title or something more significant than Jeremy, a women's gauntlet or a tag team or something.
That's
their
problem.
Tag.
That's their problem with the women right now. They've just buried everybody. Yeah. They don't have anybody left. Well, maybe they've unburied somebody. Somebody came unburied.
Oh, jeez. Don't get me started there.
But anyway, I mean, I don't know. Now, I will say I turned this thing on whenever I finally found it, and I was like, "Ooh, first match!" Like they came out with a banger. You had Cajun Coat versus FTR. I actually watched this match to most of the entirety. I enjoyed this match. Now. It was interesting at the end of the match. Of course, you did have the Beth Copeland entrance, and she came out and kind of evened the odds. But then you had, of course, Christian's demons come back to haunt him, where his old patriarchy. But have they actually come up with a new name?
They're the matriarchy now.
Matriarchy. Okay. Oh, that's so creative. Matriarchy. Okay. Anyway, so they came out distracted. FTR attacked them. So we're going to continue this little feud for a while, it looks like. But I enjoyed this match. It was good to see Christian and Copeland back together. I think it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. And I'm excited to see if I'm assuming they're probably going to do some other crazy matches in this little series before it's all said and done. But I enjoyed this match. Brandon, you got to see this one. What did you think about this one?
I thought this was really good. It might have been, I'm trying to think, it might have been the best one I saw, like, full when I was fully locked in. But I really liked it. And then because then after this, there was 4 duds for me. And so, I really enjoyed this one. And so, Beth, she actually came out she came out early in the match to take out Stokely during the match. Stokely was getting involved. So she came and carries him out and they leave. Then after the match, they're doing they handcuff Cope. They're taking out.
She came back out and she
came out and she's trying to, and then they did the spike pile driver to her.
Ooh,
and so that was pretty brutal. And but and Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne, he came out in a wheelchair, and Kip Sabian comes out to distract. But you notice who didn't come out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that. There's more to that later, but yeah. So not all the matriarchy now is just Mother Wayne, Nick Wayne in a wheelchair, and Kip Sabian. It's not a very formidable group,
Yeah, I think there's more eyeliner in that group than there is muscle stature in that one, right? With
True.
yeah, it's not scary. I think they're going to play on like maybe the Weasley thing, right? Like, you know, the like they're like the duck and run, right? They're gonna attack and run, and you know, but no, I think the thing I like about Christian is like he still seems believable at his age. And again, I was a huge Chris Jericho fan for a long time, but it's really hard to watch his matches now compared to what he was, right? Like, maybe that's just me, but I just feel like it's harder to believe Chris Jericho as what he was playing himself off to be, where I think Christian's got enough of that nastiness in him that you're like, yeah, he's still a SOB.
Yeah, I like how Christian, like, you know, he went from the young long-haired flyer to I like what he'd already transitioned in WWE and had those feuds with like Orton and stuff. He'd already transitioned to this character, and that's what he's also carried into AEW, and he's done a really good job carrying over into this version of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's playing less to the nostalgia and more to the ability that he has, right? And I think sometimes Jericho tends to like almost lean back into what he used to be able to do a little too much, and so it's just harder to buy it, you know, if that makes sense. Maybe that's just me, but that's kind of how I feel with it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see kind of how Jericho, when he returns to WWE, which we think he will, how that's going to go. I'd like to see some callbacks. I want the list of Jericho back. That was a great segment.
Yeah, and maybe just the learning tree thing. I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Just so hokey and goofy. Like, it was funny for the first 2 weeks. Yeah, I was like,
I know. That was his only gimmick in AEW that I didn't care for. The other ones, I mean, yeah, he had a little heel group, but they were entertaining. Like there was something behind it. They just never worked. Speaking of the learning tree, Brandon's net. Go ahead. Hey, Brandon's ready for the next match. I know he is. We got Big Bill and Eddie Kingston. Yeah, I mean, goodness. Where's Kaz where's Kaz? But you need him back. You need the mouthpiece back with Big Bill. He's just a tall guy. There's nothing. I mean, I like him. I like when he was with Enzo. I don't like this Big Bill character. It's just, I don't know. It's just not, he doesn't do anything for me. And then the fact that he calls out Eddie Kingston, who's been gone a year and a half, and they decide to have a match. I mean, just lazy booking. Like, we could draw up something on a piece of paper in 5 minutes and have something better to book than this. Brendan, this match, I mean, Eddie Kingston gets the win. We all knew he was going to win. I mean, we kind of all called that. But I mean, I honestly, I kind of skimmed through this match. Did I miss anything, Brandon?
No. Speaking of lazy, I'm not in tip-top shape myself. I'm not in the best shape. But you're out 18 months. You're coming back, and you have a chance. What else did you have to do? And you come back in worse shape than you were in. Like, he looked awful. Like, I mean, it's like, what are you doing, Eddie? Like, this was your chance to come back. You come back. I didn't expect him to be shredded, but like, man, like, he looked.
Hey, but he's got backup now, Brandon.
Well, and we'll get to that too. So he wins the match. The match was nothing. I mean, and this should be the second match on a Collision, not the second match on a pay-per-view. Like, I mean, Big Bill should not be on a pay-per-view. There's nothing there to it. And Eddie Kingston should not be either. And so he wins the match, and there's a fight. I mean, a post-match attack, and Hook comes out. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're getting this kind of weird, mysterious Hook. So I'm expecting he helps Eddie and then turns on him, takes him, and then like nothing happens. It just
they're buddies, Brandon.
Wow.
I don't know, because he likes Eddie Kingston now. I don't
think so. I don't know. I think he just hates Big Bill.
He needs a new group. You know, he was tired of the
I thought he was gonna go on his own. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. He's on his own, building his own group. And the first one he picks was a old Eddie Kingston that's been out for 18 months. That's who I want in my group.
Yeah, you're with Samoa Joe and Hobbs, and then you
went to you downgraded a little bit.
I'm gonna trade in my brand new Corvette for a Subaru Outback. Like, what are we doing here? Well, and I think the other thing too is, like, with Big Bill, Like he does. He needs a guy that can talk, right? Like he was decent with Jericho because Jericho carried the conversation, right? He was good with Enzo because Enzo carried it. I think that's what Big Bill needs. Like it's not that he's not he does okay in the ring. He's okay, right? He's a physically
he's got the bad apple, Jeremy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The bad apple. Again, where are we getting the like? I feel like it's one of those like when you get your new router and they give you the password and it's like an adjective and a noun put together and a couple of numbers. Like, here comes the fleshy dolphin. Like what are we doing? The bad apple.
We should just all come up with random names for each other here. We just
yeah. I'm gonna do the random wrestling name generator over here.
Well, I always see like things like that. It's like this is your wrestling name, or it'll be like whatever month your birthday is, and like the day it has like a random.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. He saw it online and was like, "I'll take 3."
Man, so I'll just read this some comments that were and observations with this match. It says Kingston didn't waste any time getting in the ring and getting the fight going. A lot of people were throwing the F word around. Kingston could be heard saying it several times. I don't know what maybe they meant FAT, maybe around. And then Danielson on commentary, they gave him some props on this match as he gave some history with Eddie Kingston that helped add to his character. But I love having Danielson on the microphone. Just FYI, it's great. But they did they have Tony Schiavone back on the mic on this one, didn't they?
I don't, but he just came. So that's another thing is they change announcers like for after every match. They just like they got about 6. They just kind of Rolodex through.
I mean, I guess that's okay sometimes, but like, how do you get to flow of who's? I can't.
I like how for WWE most part, it's gonna be these 2 guys for this whole show. It's gonna be, So.
I mean, Excalibur is kind of the lead one. He's always there. It seems like, and I like him.
I feel like there was one match though. It was JR, Tony, and Taz. But
that's the old man group there. It kind of is. I mean, I
like having Danielson. I like having Nigel. I like having Daddy Magic. I like having one of those 3 at all times. But
yeah, it's not
Daddy Magic. I don't mind Daddy. He's hard to listen to. I don't know.
I don't know
why. And he's goofy, and I think he's funny, but like his voice, I don't know. There's something about it. It's just weird. But no,
hey there, Danny. Hey there, Danny.
Oh man. Okay, the next match. I definitely watched a lot of this next match. Beckham he was involved and he was in on this next one. It's MJF and Mark Briscoe. The tables and tacks match. This one I loved it. Briscoe comes out. He just pours the tacks all over the ring, man. Just every square inch of the ring. I like the fact MJF had these like gloves and knee pad. He had all this extra kind of protection garb going on. I thought that was funny that he was like, and Briscoe was just out there, dude. He was just all about it. I will say that I was surprised by the finish though. MJF took the pin here. Is this just a way to Briscoe to end this feud and to move on, hopefully, because they've been kind of going at it for a while, back and forth. But I enjoyed this. There was some cool spots they had. Of course, they always have the extra accessories like the chair that had the tacks glued on it, and always the one that gets me, that makes me kind of like it drives me nuts. It's a cool spot, but I would never want to do it. The tacks in the mouth. That one to me is like, I wouldn't want them tacks anywhere near my mouth. And then they hit you, and just the chances of, I don't know, it's just a weird spot. But I enjoyed this match. Like, this was a brutal match, but I enjoyed it. There was some cool spots. And so I kind of like, Brandon, I know you said you didn't like the next 4, but I enjoyed this one just for the brutality and for like, it was different. It wasn't just a random like one-on-one match with 2 random people.
Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't good to me. Like, I mean, there were some cool spots and stuff, but it was just like, it just was what it was.
You got the J Driller to end it, like.
Yeah, but it's just, I thought it was a terrible booking. Just like, I don't understand having MJF lose here. It just didn't make sense.
No, that didn't make sense, and I think we all I think we all picked MJF.
But like, yeah, the Froggy Bows on the tax and then the Jay Driller on tax was a cool ending. But also, it's why half your roster's out right now because you do crazy stuff like this. Like, and then we'll talk about that later in the Hangman Fletcher match. I mean, I'm surprised Fletcher's still alive today. So like, they just
I hadn't got to that one yet. So
yeah, so it's like, but I mean, it was a cool ending. Like that's what I said. The Froggy Bows on the tax was incredible. The Jay Driller on the tax, the ending was incredible, and I wasn't expecting it, so it caught me off guard. I didn't agree with it, but I liked the ending, but just the match was it was not a good match. It was a train wreck. I mean, that's what it was supposed to be. And AEW gives you 1 or 2 or 7 of those a show.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing we were talking about.
I think they go to that well way too much.
I think the thing we were talking about with KO on when we were previewing this card is how we thought the matches were all predictable. But boy, were we wrong in some of these. Like, but we're like
some of them I thought were terrible booking decisions.
It was. I thought we had them picked the way they should have been booked, and then they're like, "Oh, you just thought you had them picked, and they went another direction." Which
we're about to get into another one like that. So.
Yeah.
I think that we were talking about it before we got on, but I thought the spot where they showed, like, I think it was on Twitter the next day, like the referee shows his shoes, and it's like literally the sole of his shoes is just thumbtacks, right? Like, I mean, even he had them everywhere, and so it was like, it's always a miracle to me and stuff like that where those guys just don't wipe out because it's like your shoes are just covered in metal that's slick, and it just always makes you wonder why it doesn't. I don't know. Things can just go so poorly with that stuff, and for those guys, I mean, I don't know. Briscoe was busted open within felt like seconds of the match, and I mean, I don't know, and he does it well, and I think the thing about the booking is that like they play that sophisticated versus the redneck bum guy, so I think that's where they're coming with the booking. But yeah, I don't know why MJF lost, or if you have MJF lose, it's got to be like some kind of like suspect way, right? Like something happened. I don't know. It seemed an interesting way for him to lose, or why to lose.
Maybe they just think that it's Briscoe's just so crazy, and this was his element. Maybe that's why.
That's true. Yeah, and maybe with MJF coming out with all the padding and stuff, like he wasn't prepared for the brutality of it. And
yeah, so one of the things that was spotlighted in this match was it says the choice of his gear was clearly designed to make any blood shed shown. Like he was wearing white, and so like anything that was bloody, it would obviously be well seen. So that's interesting thought on that. I didn't really think of it that way. I was just thinking of it more of it as he had a lot of protection on, like, from trying to protect himself from the tax and stuff. But that is interesting. I enjoy these kind of matches just because I think this is where AEW, and I know that's probably why they get injured, but AEW does some different matches and it's got some more realistic to it, and I enjoy these just because I give hats off to these guys for doing some of this because this is crazy stuff. It's got a GCW feel to it a little bit.
But see, where this one, I was told opposite here. I didn't feel this was believable at all, and that's what I didn't like. That's
with all those tacks on the ring, Brandon. You want to go wrestle with all those tacks?
Well, no, I know, but it was just the way I did not buy it at all. Like it just was like.
I mean, the only part that I did not like was the booking. I think it should have been MJF to me. Other than that, I thought the whole match was fun. It was entertaining. MJF was literally scared at the fact that Briscoe just went ahead and just poured all the tack. There was a lot of good stuff in this match. He was trying to run scared for a while, and he got caught and thrown in. And I thought it was a cool because MJF has been talking badly about Jay Briscoe for a while, like saying that Mark was not good. Jay was the only, he
hadn't been talking bad about Jay. He hypes Jay up.
About to Mark. He's been basically saying Mark's not good.
Right.
And it's been several months. This is actually something that's been built for a while. They just kind of, maybe this is going to finish it, hopefully. And he got his comeuppance and he's done. But that's the only reason I could see this going this direction. Like, I didn't expect it. I just didn't think they would put Mark Briscoe over MJF. I just didn't think they would do that. But I mean, MJF still has his contract. He's going to probably come out and say, "Oh, it was it wasn't a real match." All this excuses on why he lost and stuff. I'm sure. But anyway, all right. The next match, man, I just thought for sure. I was like, man, they're not gonna beat the Hurt Syndicate, right? Wrong. They put MVP in the match to take the pin, so that they wouldn't actually get Sheldon and Lashley wouldn't get pinned. I don't know about this. I didn't like this. I didn't like this at all. And then I didn't see the end of this match. So did something happen after the match? I think, Brandon. I'm looking at something. I'm looking at some highlight clip. It looks like somebody took out Bobby Lashley and Sheldon Benjamin. I must not have seen that part. I skipped through this match.
I didn't make a note of it. I don't know. I didn't like this all. I don't get making Hurt Syndicate lose. I also don't like the demand, like the names they come up with.
Is that on demand on the
demand?
The demand. Okay.
Yeah, that's their new name. I don't like. Where do they come up with these names? They got the demand.
Ricochet probably came up with that one.
Maybe. Like the only thing I do like, and I told you for a second, I'm not a Ricochet guy, but I was digging his, like, when he was going at Swerve with the scissors and he turned heel, but then I've been lost ever since. But the one thing I do like about Ricochet, I love when he comes out and Justin Roberts like, show some love for Ricochet. I like that, but other than that, I don't like anything about it's just. And then
maybe it's the demand. Maybe it's like. So you can go. It should have been on demand. Then it could say, "Well, you're going to go back and watch us."
Well, they should have hired you. Now I guess they're saying they're in demand. Like they're the I don't know. And now the Gates of Agony, now they get a title shot against Brodito. So, spoiler alert for later. But yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, and it was a fun. The parts I saw was fine. Just didn't like. I mean, MVP got some of his, his moves in. He looked, the part I saw, didn't look bad in the ring. I mean, I thought he looked fine for someone that's been walking around with a cane for however many years. When's the last time? Can you remember the last time he actually had a match, Brandon?
I mean, he's had a couple in AEW, but it's been a bit.
I just hadn't seen him fight.
It's been a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had one or two late in the run with WWE, and I don't know if you saw, he had some pretty disparaging remarks for Triple H when someone asked him about it. He pretty much said, I don't like him at all. I didn't like him in the ring, and I don't like him out of the ring. And it was kind of an interesting.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I just obviously didn't like the booking in this match. Brandon, is there any things that you saw that were worth pointing out in this match? No.
That's what I said. I would, the parts where I was able to be kind of locked in, I didn't want to be because I was not into it. But I didn't like the whole setup. But and this next match is going to be right along with it.
Oh, this is your favorite match. Another one we were wondering, like, okay, we gonna bring back Riho versus Mercedes Moné. At least they didn't screw the booking up. If they had come back and had Riho win this match, Brandon, this would have been dumb. Like,
Mercedes is never losing. She's gonna have 87 belts.
Are we just at 9 now? Is that all she has?
I don't know, because I don't know if half of these shows even exist.
Hey, so I should just start creating belts, and then I can
where's the Tyler Championship Wrestling promotion, invite her down, and she'll come fight for the title.
Yeah, we'll just have our own.
I think she'll be in Lufkin next April with Tommy Dreamer and Brian Keith.
Maybe we can have a NetSN promotion here.
Oh, we'll stream it on NetSN. Yeah, live.
We'll stream it live on NetSN. We'll get Mercedes in here.
Kyle be the ring announcer, and Brett, Jeremy, and Jaron on commentary.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon?
I'll help. I'll do the booking.
Oh,
Brandon's got to be the referee. He's got to get that 1, 2, 3.
I'll do the booking.
Let's book it. Let's book the show. It'd probably be a better book than this one tonight.
I have a couple cousins and classmates who are professional wrestlers, so that they join in. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a couple of students that have jumped into the wrestling world, and one of them was actually with the WWE development program for a little bit. So
yeah, most of the ones I know are wrestling, like the thing in Marshall and Lufkin and stuff.
Yeah.
We should get JBL. He's close by. Hey, Mark Henry,
King Booker,
Booker,
Athena.
He'll only come if a care comes too.
Yeah, Booker T, man, I really like him on commentary. Like, if Trick ever comes to the main roster, you got to bring him with it because he's a Trick Williams hype guy, man.
Well, but
It's
he's
weird.
but he's also Stephanie's.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. So maybe he should just come on up. You
That
know?
was great last week.
But in a
though.
much creepier way.
That was great last week though when he had Stephanie and Rhea at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were going to have to bring out the ENT to save his life after he had the heart attack watching that.
Yeah. All right. So we got our next match: Okada, Takeshita, and no, not 1-on-1. We got Dorada on as the third guy. It was our TBD when we did the show. We didn't know. I really skimmed this one, Brandon, just trying to see who won. I saw that obviously Okada won, and then Takeshita walked off by himself. Was there anything in the match that was Don Callis-y, like turn, or he just walked off because he lost? I didn't get to see that part.
So like, and I kind of enjoyed this one again. It got back to where I was kind of, hey, I can get behind this because this three is pretty fun in the ring, and and we kind of how we expected Okada pin Dorada, and it was a solid match. But Takeshita and Okada, they had some moments. They were going at it, and they're teaming up tonight. But it looked like Takeshita was about to win, and then Okada comes and takes him out, and then pins Dorada. And so, but after the match, they had a stare down, and that was just, and it was just a kind of stare down, and then nothing. Dom made sure nothing happened. So, I don't know if we'll get something tonight because they're in like a trios match tonight. It's like them two and one of the other Don Callis members. So
one of the other 40 Don Callis members.
Yeah, so something could happen. I feel like we're getting them 1-on-1 at the next show, but because it's coming up, Wrestle Dream,
Wrestle Dream.
A few weeks.
Yeah, I feel like it should just be called the Don Callis conglomeration at this point. It's not a family. Like there's too many people, or the Don Callis reunion or something. It's got to be a different name because there's too many guys in it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I from what I saw this match, I figured it would be a good match, and I do want to try to get back and watch some more of it, to get to see it. But I'm looking for that main event, that 1-on-1 match. I think that's going to be an excellent match, and hopefully we get it here. I don't know if they do it. Is Wrestle Dreams not really considered one of their big ones, though? Is it? Do you think they would pull it for Wrestle Dream, or you think they might try to draw it out a little longer and?
They don't have another big one. They don't have another big one for a long time. So
Yes.
I don't know what they consider. Like I know they consider All In, All Out. I don't know what else they consider the big one. Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing's like on May. So.
Yeah, they have them kind of close. The All In, All Out.
Yeah, they kind of treat all. I kind of feel like they treat all their pay-per-views the same though.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have the
outside
big
of All In. All In's the one they kind of. But I think all the others they kind of treat the same.
Yeah. Then we got the casket match, and we had a return of Pac, Brandon. I
thought it was Wade Barrett at first.
Yeah, it was at first when he came out. I was trying, who is that? And then I realized
actually cut his hair. Yeah,
his hair was gone.
He's always been jacked, but now he's like big.
Yeah, and so
he did the Randy Orton where you go away and you come back 30 pounds heavier and yoked up. Yeah.
AJ Styles too.
But another one we missed as Moxley goes over again on Darby Allin.
I didn't pick Moxley.
I think we all had let's see. I think we all had him. Darby Allin. Yeah.
I think we need to go to the tape.
Let's see. Darby Allin. I think Kyle might have had him.
I think we need to go to the tape.
We need to go back to the tape? Okay. Oh, maybe. I don't.
We're going to go to the replay booth.
Maybe we do. I know I picked Moxley or Allen. I was like, I thought this was going to be kind of the end. I thought we were going to finally get that, comeuppance, but we're going to extend it. But we should have known better. Anything with John Moxley and the Death Riders, they're going to extend it over and over and over. But at least we got a guy returning back. Maybe that's going to give it a little extra.
I wonder if they saw, the bloodline ending earlier than it maybe could have. And I wonder if they're kind of running that with the Death Riders and they're going to try to play it out. You know what I mean? Like, I think you look at WWE and they probably ended the bloodline saga a little bit too quickly, the way they did, or the way that it changed so much. So I wonder if that's part of this too, is that they're going to try to run this Death Rider thing a little bit longer because it still seems to have some steam to it. And so I wonder if they're just learning from that mistake that WWE made. And
yeah, I mean, you've brought back. They've added some more. I mean, you got Daniel Garcia now. You've added back Pac. We'll see how long Wheeler Yuta stays. I mean, I think that they could boot him from the group at some point and have him cut his hair and look like an actual person instead of like an animal.
Yuta gets the worse treatment than Dirty Dom used to.
Yeah,
he gets the FU Yuta every time he comes out. He gets the same as Don Callis.
Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting. I think obviously, I think it was funny that Moxley sent the guys back. They came out to help him, and then he sent them back, and ended up like he already knew. Like, I got this card in my back pocket, and it was a Pac there. But yeah, I'm fine as long as they're gonna. This is what we talked about. I think months and months ago when the Death Riders was kind of hitting their peak. We were waiting. We thought, okay, it was going to be Shane McMahon. We thought it was going to be somebody showing up, and like over and over, nobody new came, and it was just kind of that same old. So at least here we've gotten something new. We've gotten Daniel Garcia added. We've got we've kind of gotten some different pieces there. So I'm okay with it as long as it's not the same old stuff. So at least they're mixing it up a little.
And they've also teased like they've teased adding another woman. They teased Statlander a lot. They've done some things there, so that's interesting. But this match is fine. It was a cool moment. They were both in the coffin, but you have to close the casket for it to. But they were both inside. But then Danielson did commentary for this match, which he normally pulls himself off for Moxley matches.
Well, they were talking about he had promised not to get involved in the match.
Right, correct. But he normally even pulls himself off. Yeah, he did that on Dynamite. But he normally pulls himself off of Moxley matches because he's not going to be unbiased. But he stayed on commentary, but he did not get him, and he didn't get involved during the match or after the match. He kept his promise, and but Darby puts a plastic bag on Moxley's head like they had done to Danielson, and he's beating him in, and the whole crowd's chanting, "This is murder!" I'm just dying there. I thought that, and then he's kicking Moxley's head in, and it looks, hey, he's about to win, and then Pac comes out of nowhere and kicks Darby's head, and it was like, but I was like, same thing. I was like, who is that? And then I realized it's Pac, and then so Moxley was already in the casket. He gets out, and they put Pac puts Darby in the body bag, puts him in there, and he was about to close it. And all of a sudden he like nudged Moxley, and Moxley like barely just kind of takes his foot and like closes the casket just to get it. And then he gets the win, and then they come and they all carry Darby out, and we get more. I don't know if you see, Brett, because you just kind of zoomed through the matches. Did you see what happened with this later?
No.
So I'll talk about it when it happens. It's after the tag match, but also full disclaimer, it was during WrestlePalooza, so I saw the end part of it, but I didn't see what led to it. But I'll kind of give what I know about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The next match is the Fatal 4-Way Women's World Title match, where I'm just shocked here. I'm just reading through this, and I actually hadn't read of how the match finished. I just, knew who won, and Toni Storm took the pin here. Like, why? I know Statlander got the win. Why would you pin Toni Storm? And you have the option to pin two other women in the match to continue the little feud on to a one-on-one. I just don't understand the booking here. I don't know how any three of these women in this match have any claim to be booked as the world champion, for one. Two, why you would pin your champion when you didn't have to in the match. Brandon, please explain to me why this was booked this way, because I don't get it. Maybe I'm just confused.
Yeah,
Enlighten me.
I was expecting. There's times I've wanted Statlander to be the champion. This wasn't. I wasn't ready for, but it's something different. So I'm open to it. I'm looking to see what happens. But yeah, I thought someone else was taking the pin, and it was. But like we're getting more from it because it was a roll up. It was a roll up finish. Like it wasn't a clean pin. It was just like a quick roll up and then you get the Tony shock look. So it caught me by surprise. And this was still way before Wrestlepalooza. So I'll say this was still even way before Wrestlepalooza was started. Well, not way before, but 20 or 30 minutes before. So it didn't. But it was the element of surprise. Like this was, you don't get that. Like we said, we thought this card was pretty predictable. Well, we weren't expecting this, and so I thought there was a chance Statlander might win, but I thought it was because Wheeler Yuta, we just talked about it, they're trying to get her to the death throes. He came out at the start of the match and was talking to her. She's like, "Go away, go away." And then Statlander's had some other friends recently, so thought something could happen there. But I thought she would pin either Hayter or Tekla, not Tony. But
I just don't like. Here's the deal, and as much as we've complained about the booking, hold on a second. Make sure my sneeze here. The booking of Mercedes there it was. Of Mercedes Moné. Like if you're gonna beat Toni Storm and you've built Mercedes Moné up, why didn't you just pin and give Mercedes Moné another belt, and then you could at least have this where and then she loses the belt and she starts this decline downfall. You could have built a story with that. Instead, you pin her, and okay, now she's still the TBS champion. And then now you put over a Statlander who, I mean, yeah, I like her, but she hasn't done anything lately. Like, I don't. Is she a believable world champion? I guess so, but she just hasn't done a whole lot. I just feel like they wasted like Toni Storm's pin. They should have really put somebody over that they could really used it on it.
And I think if you're gonna have Toni Storm lose, why not have Athena beat her? You know what I mean? Like that could have been something that would have been more believable. I don't know. When I saw it with Statlander, I was like, it didn't make me care. You know what I mean? Like I think if Athena wins, there's something to care about because it's somebody from the outside, right? They're Ring of Honor, and all of a sudden she's.
Well, that's the thing is we'll never see Athena again. So even if she has a chip, we would never see her on TV. So it's.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, if you're going to do this, like it needs to be somebody that, like, again, I'm not saying Megan Bain is ready, but that would have been more believable had they built her up the way they should have, right? You'd be like, oh yeah, she's the whatever. I don't know. And again, it's maybe not anything against Statlander. I didn't buy it just didn't go. I didn't go, oh, that makes sense. Like to me, it was like, what are we doing? Right. Again, I think it would have been better off if Statlander had pinned one of the other two, then at least you go, well, yeah, Toni Storm couldn't help it. She wasn't even in there, but to roll her up like that, it just didn't make sense to me.
Well, and Tekla and Toni Storm both were in red, so I thought she pinned Tekla at first, and then I was like, because same thing, I'm paying attention. So yeah. I think I was yelling. I think there was something intriguing in college football going on at that second. So,
all right. Next match was the tag match you mentioned earlier. You had Brodito, Young Bucks, Brandon's favorite team, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family in this one here. I mean, I know you mentioned Brodito won because you mentioned they had a match tonight. So I know Kyle had mentioned he thought the Young Bucks were going to win, but I believe this must have been. I haven't really gotten to this part yet. This is where Jack Perry returned and attacked the Young Bucks here. And then they had a video of him being the one to wake up Luchasaurus.
And we've seen that video before, but yeah.
Was that the one they showed on Dynamite?
When he came back to take out Christian a few weeks ago, yeah. But they never showed like the Jack Perry part, yeah.
And I thought it was, I think didn't he wreck the Young Bucks limo, right? Didn't he have like a backhoe or whatever, and like takes the bucket and just throttles the front into this limo, and distracts the Young Bucks.
and Luchasaurus is back. He took off the kill switch stuff. He's Luchasaurus. We got the music back. We got the swaying. We got the we got what's back. We need some Marco Stunt.
Okay. That's interesting because I figured that Jack Perry would come back at some point, but wasn't expecting to turn back to the face side. It's interesting though. It gives them something else to.
So yeah, we'll get probably Wrestle Gym. We get Jurassic Express against the Young Bucks.
Well, I feel like with that one though, you can kind of make Jack that in between guy, right? Like you can make them an in between because the Bucks have so much heat that you could even be a heel and still look good because how awful they are, right? And then the same turn, you can go into another feud and, Luchasaurus and Jack Perry can be the heels. They can kind of fall on that weird line where they can go either way because of who their opponent is.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's a little inside baseball here. When we start watching AEW and there's Luchasaurus, and he, they were a face team, but he's like a heel type character. That's it's a destroying monster, But so watch him. Well, then we're big Brother fans, and then after a while, heard hey he was on Big Brother, but I had never watched that season because we didn't start watching until season 21. He was on season 17. But then during the pandemic, we started from season 1 and started watching through, and we recently just got finished his season earlier this year and watched him on there. So I was like, but I didn't know if he was ever going to come back to wrestling because, he almost died last year. He had like a horrific accident and he almost died. And so I didn't think he would ever come back to wrestling. And so then he comes back and it's interesting because I've now seen him for a whole, 90 days without a mask on. And and on there, he plays his wrestling character at that time was called Judas. And he plays that, but he's also just Austin. And he's just this goofy dude. And he's love struck over this girl. And so it's interesting to see that guy back now in this dinosaur mask and playing this Stone Cold Killer. So it's kind of interesting for me because now I've seen him in both settings. But I'm excited to see Jack, and because that was one of the cool things that was one of the things that was introduced us to AEW. They were the pillars, part of that. Them and someone else that's coming back tonight is one of those pillars. They spoiled it on the pay-per-view the other night. They could have did a big return tonight, and I haven't even seen if he's actually back. But they kind of spoiled it. But yeah, there's those type of guys that led us to liking AEW, and then a lot of those guys went away or they changed their characters in certain ways, but maybe they're bringing some of them back, and this is evidence of that.
Well, I think you're talking about his character. I think it reminds me of when Kane took off the mask and you realized that it was a wig. I was so shocked that he didn't have long hair because I was just convinced, right? And I was convinced that he was. I was young and I was convinced he was horribly disfigured. And then you meet the guy and he's well spoken and he's a mayor and you're like, this can't be this. I thought it was one of those where honestly, I thought it was somebody that switched the character, it was a different guy, and then they had to reveal the mask. We can't do that guy because he looks horrible, so we're going to put another guy in it,
Well, it took me 4 years to realize that Kane was the same guy that used to be Dr. Isaac Yankum. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that kind of reminds me of the same thing, watching him out of character and in it, right? It's so different that it's your brain can't adjust to that idea. You're like, wait a minute.
Well, I that really does surprise me. I'm excited for them to be back, but I am a little surprised that they did bring him back. I guess it's been long enough since the whole CM Punk incident that he can go back to be a face again. I had that whole thing. So, all right, let's go.
Well, so in between this, so the Jack Perry Luchasaurus thing that was happening as WrestlePalooza was starting.
Okay.
And so that's where, and I was like, oh, they brought some heat as WrestlePalooza starting. So then this next thing's happening at kind of the heart of the Cena Lesnar match, near the ending. But I look up and Darby's out of the body bag. he's got someone else. I can't tell if it's Claudio or Moxley. It's one of the bald guys. He gets him and throws him in the body bag and sets it on fire.
Oh.
And then, but then like a crew comes and fire extinguishes it and takes Darby out. But like it happens so fast. Cause I'm watching Cena and Lesnar, so I don't really see what's going on. But I just see Darby put someone in a body bag and set it on fire. And who knows? Hopefully they tell something about that tonight.
It probably never happened, Brandon. I'll just glaze right over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Hangman Adam Page, Kyle Fletcher. Matt's got an A on here, Brandon. Hangman wins. You said Fletcher almost died. Tell us about the match. Let it.
Well, I don't have many notes because, like I said, I'm watching at the same time as Jay's entrance and the Uso entrance and the start of that match. So I'm watching. Obviously Fletcher Hangman's probably a better match than Usos and Braun's, but WrestlePalooza just draws you in. We're kind of hyped about that, and it's just how it is. But I was still, I had it on, and I'm seeing certain spots, and I've seen some more on social media after. But he did some dead eyes and some crazy, like he did one through but there was one before it went even a dead eye, and my wife, she goes like, "Ooh, the way he landed on his neck." It was just like Fletcher kept landing on his neck in the worst spots, but he kept his word. He didn't get any interference in this match. He kept his word, and it was from everything I saw was a good match. But like I said, I wasn't able to give my full attention to it because of the placement. I wish it would have been it's the only wrestling on at that time,
Yeah.
And if it would have been a normal, like I said, they started at 7. Not only would have been the only wrestling at the time outside of Hawaii, it would have been or Michigan State USC, it'd have been, there wouldn't even be no football to compete with. So it would have had my full attention and a lot of, and I know there's the AEW diehards they didn't care about WrestlePalooza, but I like both. So, so I didn't have the sounder for this match either. So it's just like, I was seeing it big spot and I saw the ending, but I wasn't able to invest in it because of the placement.
It said Fletcher that he used Ospreay's hidden blade in the match.
Yeah, I did not see that.
And Hangman followed up by using Swerve's big pressure.
I didn't see either of those.
So, and also Darby Allin, it was Moxley that got busted with the pipe and threw into the bag and lit on fire.
Yeah, I could because I saw it as he was putting him in the bag. I just saw a bald head, so I couldn't tell if it was Moxley or Claudio. So.
Said Fletcher debuted new intro to his entrance music with his own voiceover.
I would say I had it on mute because I was listening to yeet, yeet, yeet.
Yeet, yeet, yeet. I hear you say yeet. But I mean, for what I watched in this pay-per-view, it was a solid watch. I mean, there was some weird booking decisions. I'm interested in going back and watching a couple of these other matches just to kind of get a feel for the matches. But I think that's one thing that we can count on AEW is they're going to have some really good matches, even though sometimes the booking, sometimes the way that we came upon the matches is kind of weird or something we don't agree with. They're always going to come across with some good, solid matches.
But I didn't think they had as many as they normally have.
Well,
and part of that's because no Swerve Ospreay.
You had your main guys that are putting on these big matches out. So,
but see, I think you could have cut 3 of these matches and then if you cut out Big Bill and Eddie, Mercedes and Rio,
Brandon, that would make too much sense, Brandon.
Yeah, then you have a 6 or 7 matches, and then it's then it's probably an A+ show maybe, but you had too much stuff drag it down. So
you had some dead weight.
Yeah, I didn't see this match, but I saw a couple of the highlights, and one of the Fletcher landings, I was like, I'm shocked that he got up. I mean, it was one of those career enders.
There was about 5 of those.
Referees over here going like this, and the whole crew. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh. I think it was the buckle. Maybe I think he hit the turnbuckle and then came down and he hit the turnbuckle awkward, and then he hit the ground almost even worse, the mat even worse. I don't know. It was bad. I was like, oh.
I've been waiting for a Sean Ross Sapp report of Kyle Fletcher's out 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one pop through yet. But
I neither, but
That's
I do because I got to a point the last couple of weeks where I was like kind of wanting Fletcher to win, but also I love when he says, "Say my full name." I love that. I love that. Say my full. I don't know. I want that shirt. Like I like Fletcher. I'm not. I'm not.
The thing is, the booking wise, it would make sense if he takes it off Osprey, like Osprey. I think Osprey. It's hard to believe he has not won the world title in AEW yet.
Yeah,
he is your top guy.
Well, we thought. I mean, we all thought he was going to be the one to take it off of Moxley.
Yeah,
and then they had Hangman beat him, and then
should have been. I mean, I like Hangman.
But I think they also knew that Osprey was going to have surgery soon.
Maybe, but I mean,
because they said he was been hurt for a while, so
he's got to have that title, and then I think that's when Fletcher. Because you can have them feud over the belt.
He's only 26 years old. So
yeah. So, but I think overall it was a solid card from what I've kind of watched together. I mean, you had some surprises and some good matches. I think we all agree that it was too long, but I don't think that's going to change. We can come on here and tell, Tony Khan, if you're listening, maybe cut some of the matches out. Not sure he's tuned in, but
Well, and it's interesting because, a lot of times with WWE, you get the other argument. There's not enough matches, right? Like, it's like they're so opposite of each other. It's like if we could just both of them get together and give us about 7, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that 6, 7, 8 range.
I'm good with a 5. I'm good with but 5 to 7 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you got 5, you can't have a clunker. You know what I mean? And I feel like if I think if you have 7, you can get away with one match. But if you got 5 and one of them stinks, it's so noticeable, And so I think if you go a little bit more to that 7 range, I think you have a better shot of if one match doesn't live up to the hype, you can at least bookend it with some decent ones,
Yeah.
This is the same time as last week where my internet started being crazy, and so it seems like it may be doing it again. So you may lose me. We'll see.
Was it a certain time if everyone in your streets?
Well, we don't really have a street. We live out in the middle of nowhere, but maybe, but I don't know. Maybe it's a 9:45 in Deep Glendale thing. I don't know.
No. Okay. Well, this first match, we'll move over, I guess now to Wrestlepalooza, I guess, and we'll change the background there. All right. So Wrestlepalooza, they start off with Cena Lesnar. I didn't understand this. Whenever it was like, wow, okay, we're going to start with what we thought maybe could be a main event. And I just didn't like this at all, guys. Like, John Cena has been abused on this retirement tour. Like, I feel like that they got him in this heel gimmick. I mean, it was kind of like weird. They started off, it was The Rock, and I was like, oh, this is cool. The Rock disappears. He never comes back. Cena's he gets to win the title, which I liked. But it was kind of like, okay, run. He's back face. I thought, all right, we get to see him beat Lesnar one more time on his way out. And he just gets demolished. Like, it wasn't even a match. Like, it was a beating. And I guess, we mentioned that he wasn't scheduled for another appearance for a while. And I think I mentioned, I said, well, it could be that he gets beat up so bad that he's out for a while. And I really was hoping it wasn't that. But, I mean, I don't know where they go with him from here. Like, John Cena now has been destroyed, and who knows if that's a one-off for Lesnar, if we get to see him again, maybe he gets his comeuppance on him later. I don't know, but I just did not like this match. Like, they booked John Cena like he was a talent, like just an enhancement talent, and I didn't like it. Like, this is his farewell tour, and I don't like the way they did this.
I'm okay with him not winning. Because I think sometimes, like with the retirement thing, like they win every match and you're like, it's kind of predictable. I was okay with him not winning, but I didn't expect him to get squashed, right? I thought I thought maybe Heyman and the Vision might come in, and then all of a sudden Brock's part of that group. I don't know. I just thought there might be something with it. I saw somebody say something. They feel like this might be building Lesnar back up to give Braun Breaker like his big go at like WrestleMania in the future or something, where they're trying to build Brock up into the dominant guy he was. So they
really need to build Brock over. Do we really need to build Brock up? Like, he's Brock Lesnar.
I know.
I mean,
And I wonder too. I wonder too if this had something to do with the ESPN thing and the fact that like Lesnar was a UFC fighter. You know what I mean? I wonder if there was some influence there, maybe of like trying to make it seem more realistic for those casual fans that maybe tuned in on ESPN. I don't know, but I didn't like that he squashed Cena that fast. I don't mind him. I don't mind Cena losing. I'm okay with that. But it seemed like Cena had nothing going. I mean, it seemed like a jobber. Like it seemed like, you know, Hurricane Helms back in the day where it was like they just threw him to the cannon fodder and, you know, he'd come back the next week and get whooped again by somebody.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I've seen that there was a point where he delivered 3 AAs in a row, and he had some moments, but then he kept getting F5 to F5 to F5. But I mean, he had a cool entrance. I thought that was kind of cool. He come out with the kids, and he had. I thought I picked. I don't know if Brett logged it, but I picked Lesnar to win this match. But I said it as my internet was going out, so I didn't pick. But,
yes, I did have you.
Yeah, I expected Lesnar to win this match. I thought it made total sense booking wise, but I agree with you to a point too about there's different ways they could have did it. But I thought at points they made Cena. I mean, he had those multiple AAs but yeah, they made Lesnar look like the.
Well, they made Cena look weak. His AAs, he had 3 of them, and it still didn't do anything to him.
But I think they made Lesnar look like a beast, and like I said, I think we'll get Lesnar probably on the Vision team for War Games, and then we eventually, like you said, I think that will be a WrestleMania match, Lesnar and Braun. So, and then, so Brett, have you not watched Raw?
Yes, I did watch Raw.
Oh, they didn't talk about it on Raw. Never mind. But because you said what's next for Cena, have you not seen what's next for Cena?
No, I did hear something about AJ Styles.
Yeah, they're facing at Crown Jewel. So
okay, no, I saw that online somewhere.
Yeah, he posted on Twitter. He's like, "Hey AJ, have you heard the fans or whatever?"
Yeah, and then it sounds like after that it'll be him and Dirty Dom. I think that's one of the final matches too. So
interesting choice.
And I'm hearing that there's rumblings that he could be the one to take the Intercontinental title off of Dom. So.
Well, Dom, I feel like that Dom was going to lose it at some point. He's got that AAA belt now. He could afford to lose the Intercontinental and still have a belt to walk around with. Of course, you've got a lot of storylines there kind of going with the Judgment Day. You know, you've got El Grande Americanos, which Los Americanos or whatever they're calling their little group now. Is Dom going to be the leader of them and he'll break off in the Judgment Day? I don't know.
And he's also got something with Rusev right now. And
yeah.
I think they blew it with the Los Americanos. Like I think they could have done you know, do Grande Americano, Grande Canada, right? Grande Mexico. Like they could have done the North American trio or something. You know, they could have really gone somewhere with it. But.
Los Americanos.
And I think the original is back to come back soon too. Adam Pearce kind of hinted at that there now. So.
Yeah,
I think Kaiser's done a better job than Gable did with the character.
Kaiser's done the best, and he's loved in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like he's given it some. I don't know. Gable was trying to make it goofy, right? That was kind of the point, but I feel like Kaiser's kind of given it some credibility while still being goofy. You know, it's like he's played it well.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the next match was the Bronze versus the Usos. I don't know. I think I picked the Usos in this match. I think we all did, actually. This was the one that we all missed.
I didn't pick the Bronze.
No, I think we had.
What?
According to my sheet here.
Man, I gotta go watch the tape. I don't.
I've got
Brandon. You're starting to sound like one of our friends, Jaron Peoples, who picked something and then he's like, "But I thought the other team might win if the Ducks fell the right way."
What about the challenge flag here?
He'll never watch this, so it won't matter. But
the challenge flag's right here. I got the paper. Okay, so I got the Usos on the first line. And,
okay.
That's what I have. I had us all picking the Usos because we thought our thing was their first match back together. You know, why would they just immediately have them lose?
I thought LA made, and I didn't like him being the referee. Like, but then they didn't use him fight.
He was just a regular ref. He didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like there it's like, oh, let's have him because we can make this a no DQ match without calling it a no DQ match because he let them use chairs whenever they want. And he had some spots with Jay where like Jay almost hit him a couple times. But
He was involved.
He called it right
really
down the
wasn't.
middle.
Yeah.
It was like he helped Jay and them that one spot where they couldn't get things lined up right. He kind of fixed it for them, and he like acted like he didn't have anything against the Bronze, even though they've been beating him up for a month or two, however long it's been. Like I would have thought he would have like counted 2 and then stopped or something. And I really wonder, like with Jay hitting himself with a chair. I wonder if that altered maybe some of the plans because he didn't look right after that. Like, and I'm sure like some of it may have been planned up, but it was just weird from that point forward. Like the double spear through the tape. I don't know, just things didn't look right from that point. And so I wonder if he really was concussed or if something was really wrong and they kind of had to make an adjustment on the fly.
But then he was there on Monday. I was expecting him to be out a little bit.
Yeah, but. That was just my thought when I saw it. I was like, well, maybe like that chair bounced back quick, and it caught him clean in the forehead. And
now, do you guys think that you guys probably watch Monday Night Raw, and Jay was looking whenever Cody came and talked to him, how he had his eyes on that belt, and he was like, do we get a heel turn, Jay? Like, I mean, as much merch and as much pop as he's getting, like. He's now going to be like Roman, and the belt's going to consume him, type deal.
I mean, he's kind of teased that with the LA Knight stuff, and like, you kind of seen that side where he's like trying, maybe like not as much as Bailey, obviously, but almost fighting that like, do I stay on the good side? Am I? Yeah, you can kind of see the thoughts at least looming there of what do I do, and I think if he does, I think it hurts Jimmy. Right, like I think Jimmy, them being back together helps Jimmy. Without Jay, Jimmy's just not a believable character. In some way, like as a singles guy, right? Like I like him. I think he does a really good job, but I don't know that he has that charisma to carry something by himself.
And
like
so
he needs a Fatu. He needs a Jay. He needs
somebody to help him. He hadn't seen Fatu in a while. I mean, he'll have to return at some point. So, anyway, I don't know.
Kaleo or whatever, he's gone. Tala Tonga. We haven't seen him in a while.
Well, we haven't seen we haven't seen any of them. Like Solo just does these backstage little vignettes.
The MFTs
the only one that was there was Tongaloa, the worst one of them all. And he's like, Tonga's going to go get gold for me.
That's Brandon's favorite, Tongaloa.
That's Kyle's favorite.
The closest Tongaloa is going to get to gold is if he goes and buys a Gold Peak sweet tea somewhere.
I thought the match was fine itself. I just thought it was strange. You had again LA Knight out there. He was kind of involved, but really wasn't. He kind of wasted a chance to have him do something in the match there. But I was surprised that when he had the Usos, I thought they entered with their old music. I thought that was kind of cool. They came out and yeeted, and it was weird because I was like, whose music is this? Like, oh, this is their old music. I'd kind of forgotten kind of how it sounded. But I thought it was pretty cool. But it was weird. I'm curious to see what they do with it. Now, the next one I did have this one. Stephanie Vicaire gets the title win over Io Sky. I like her, man. She's in the ring. She is good. Like I don't know how her mic skills are but her wrestling speaks for itself almost. She's super good in the ring. So we'll see. I think they've got some good matches they can have with her and some other wrestlers. Maybe Rhea Ripley in the future would be a good one. And so I guess the next one will be, we won't know who it's going to be yet. She'll have the next one at Crown Jewel against the winner of the 3-way triple threat on Friday Night SmackDown. Now Tiffany got hurt. I guess she's cleared to go on Friday because they have this match planned. So that's good because I was wondering if she was going to be able to compete. I guess she got cleared. So
I'm still not sure how she got up after that, man. That was a rough landing, dude. It was. I mean, I was trying to figure out how is I don't know what it was supposed to look like, but it felt like Jade was about 50 feet from where she should have been, if that was supposed to be the spot, or was Tiffany supposed to kind of land that and stumble back and just missed a little? I don't know. But it looks, I mean, it looks really bad.
I feel like every time Jade's in the ring, someone gets hurt. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think, again, I think they need to redo her character. Maybe she loses again, and she's just, she goes back to the beginning. She just gets this character where I need to go back to the basic. I got to build my way back up. And she has this story where maybe she goes back to NXT and she works on her craft and, comes, because she's not ready. They've got to do something. She is, and we've talked about it. She's $1 million till the bell sounds, and you're like, oh, it's
well,
like
on
that.
the other hand, you got Nia Jax. I feel like she
Brandon.
hurts somebody every other time. Like she's,
Yeah.
Nia Jax is busting implants left, right, and in between, and everything else, right? Like everybody's like, she elbowed me and I almost died, and like, she drops off that ring, and I don't, sometimes she does it. She catches herself too much, and it's not believable. And then the next one, you're like, I don't know if she caught herself at all. Like somebody just took the full brunt of the annihilator there.
Well, Jade's like that team, Brandon, that walks in the gym. That's like, ooh, they're gonna be good. And they got, athletes, they've got, they got height, they're dunking, they're throwing it down, and then the whistle blows and they jump ball, and they can't play a lick of basketball. It's just like a bunch of people roaming around the court. Like, no, they don't know what to do. That's how it feels with poor Jade Cargill. I feel bad for her. I mean, they should have just, and AEW kind of forced her hand whenever they put her, with that win streak and just kept winning. Now you bring her over and she's this unstoppable force in AEW. Well, you going to bring her over here and put her down with your lower level people? Well, no, they kind of were forced, and they did a good job at first kind of protecting her, but I don't think they gave her enough time to get prepared. And I think that's where they messed up. They should have been having some singles matches, with her, with some lower level talent somehow. I don't know how that would happen, but they needed to have her a little more prepared. And now I don't know what you do with her. Brandon, can you book her now? How do you book her?
I don't know. We'll see. Is there a chance she wins on Friday? I don't know.
They can't do that.
I don't think so either. I don't know what to think.
Where's Bianca? Where's Bianca been? Like, maybe she comes back and comes after Jade. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they eventually do that too. I don't know what Bianca's timeline is, but this match, Stephanie and Io, I thought was the match of the night.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like they put on a show. They're both, Io's probably, I would say she's probably the best women's wrestler around right now. She's had a phenomenal year. She's just amazing. And then Stephanie's she's had a great year just overall, in all aspects. But Io just in the ring, she's just incredible. And she just puts on match after match. Like she's probably had the best year, working wise as a woman. And but yeah, I thought it was fabulous. And y'all were calling for hijinks with Asuka them, and we got the payoff to that on Monday. I prefer that. I liked them getting this match in, letting them put on a show, Stephanie winning, and then Monday we take care of the Asuka, Kyrie, and all that business, and that Kyrie is like she. I get she was torn or whatever. It's like her beating up doesn't look. It's just like,
no. It's just kind of like it's like not really doing it. I don't know what.
It's like when your kid gets mad at you because you won't let him have candy at the grocery store, and they're like, "But Daddy, I want a candy,"
But I do like.
I do love the torn character though, where she's like trying to be apologetic and she's trying to say sorry, and then Asuka yells at her, and she's like,
Kyrie!
Yeah,
I love that. But
so. Are we gonna, you mentioned War Games earlier. Is this going to be something that maybe forms into some kind of, you don't have enough really people in it involved yet. I know the women a lot of times they just kind of throw people together because they don't really have usually big enough groups of people.
Yeah, the way we're going, we're gonna have like 4 or 5 War Games matches because I can't give away too much from the other show, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, I think when they did the SmackDown versus Raw, I think that War Games benefited the ladies because there are some, you don't have those, like, you didn't ever have the big ladies group, right? You're used to, like, oh, the Bloodline and everybody who hates the Bloodline on the other side. And I think that's the hard thing with the ladies groups is you really don't have a group bigger than 3.
Yeah, you had damage control, but then there's normally just 3, like you said. Normally it's like 3, or there's a lady a part of a men's group. So
you mentioned damage control though, like Bailey's character, more interesting every week. I'm intrigued. Like, I thought it was great that she had no idea she screamed at Lyra Valkyria the week before,
and then she does it again.
And she does it again after the match. Like, I am interested. Like, she's got that split personality.
I want her to come out to like mixed music too.
Yeah, maybe her.
Or like when it comes on and she walks out and she's like, "What?
Yeah,
it's not my music." Yeah, like some kind of.
Well, and then she gets her little things back, but they're like split. Yeah. Like they got a split. They got a ponytail.
Or she's excited with them and then she like pops them. Like
yeah.
There's a lot of things they can do with that character. I'm intrigued. Like they got me intrigued about Bailey again. So
and I hope for her sake, because she's been so willing to do whatever they've asked her to do. Like I hope she gets a chance to get on a good run here. Like, and I think Lyra. I think this kind of thing helps Lyra a little bit because she looks like she can play the like, whoa, I'm your friend, and like I mean, I think this is going to help Lyra's character a little bit as well, without having to have Lyra on the mic because she's just not there yet. Like it's okay, you don't have to be great on the mic, but if you're going to be the champion, and we were talking about the Toni Storm pin, it kind of reminded me of the Becky Lynch one where she stole the title, the she comes swooping over and gets a roll up. Like that's what I thought of when I saw the Statlander Storm that we were talking about earlier. I forgot to say that earlier, but it reminded me of that where it's like this stolen quick and you're like, what just happened? And then,
I'm glad they're getting her away from Becky Lynch for a little bit because, that was getting used over. And I think they can go back to that at some point, but they've kind of separated them out. And speaking of that, the next match, the mixed tag, the match I was looking forward to the most on this card was CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Both teams, I think it was cool. They pointed out that were undefeated together before this match. I thought that was neat. I thought this match was very well booked. They hung you out like they had AJ. Of course, she was going to start. Well, then Becky Lynch said, no, Seth's going to start. Well, then they tagged and AJ and Becky were going to start, and she kind of teased and she ran around and ended up tagging Seth back in. So Seth and CM Punk, they kind of carried the match with the first, and every time you thought he was going to go get the tag, they would, she'd run around and pull AJ off their apron or, distract. They wouldn't let her in. But when they let her in, I thought she looked great. There was like one spot, I think that was when she was laying in some hits in the corner that might have been not great, but I thought overall for not being in the ring for 10 years, like as far as in a real wrestling match, I thought she looked great in the ring. She did her normal spots. And then they just went brutal outside. The spot on the table, man, that was ugly. You saw CM Punk roll over immediately and check on her like, hey, all right. Because that was a brutal spot. I thought it was very well booked and a very good match as far as like everything in it. The storytelling, the different things that they did, the moves that they used. You had the stomp being used by multiple sides. You had the manhandle slam it's all the things, the little things that you don't normally see in a match all the time. They did this to perfection. I'm not sure who produced this match, Brandon. You may know. Did you see who produced it?
I haven't, but I'm intrigued.
Because I thought it was very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, I thought AJ Lee's stomp looked great on Seth. I mean, it was, and I thought, I mean, again, like Landon and my son and I were watching it together, and he was like inwardly, I was like, and I knew it was going to happen, but I'm like, oh my God, can we just tag AJ Lee in, right? Like I found myself going to that place, like for the love, and he's over there dying. He's like, it's not fair, Dad. They won't even let her in. She's supposed to fight. Like he was just so like frustrated with it. He was like, why can't the ref see that she's cheating? He was having a hard time figuring it out, but it was those same things that you can think about when you get lost in a match, right? I think that was a thing. I got lost in it for a few minutes of going like, all right, are we going to get her in or what's, I think that's kind of the tale of a good match for me too, is when I kind of get lost in it and you forget for a minute, that it is produced a little bit and, some of those things, but I thought it was well done. And I thought they did a really good job building up. And then she gets in the ring and then Becky looks just absolutely terrified, that this crazy girl is coming after her. And, I just thought everybody played it well.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of protecting AJ because, knew she was going to have some ring rust. I thought they did a good job of showcasing her in the right spots. And I liked how she was able to put the Black Widow on both Becky and Seth. And then she obviously got Becky to tap with it at the end. And then I liked how, Becky goes to social media and pulls up a picture of Jessica and Punk from a long time ago and says, "Oh, I didn't really tap. It was that crooked ref." And then Jessica comes back and says, "So you did tap or something?" And she goes, "And it's not just me saying it." Because how Becky's always
yeah.
"I'm the best women's wrestler ever." It's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated saying it. So I love that's. I mean, that's what we get in this day and age. But I love when the wrestlers they'll go on social media and add to the story with little. Drew McIntyre is one of the best at it. Naomi got really good at it in her little run. I like when they do that to it. It adds to it when they go onto social media and add throw something funny on there and it adds to the storyline. So
yeah, this was just overall well done. Did you find anywhere where it would say who was produced by?
I couldn't find it.
I'm gonna see if I can look. I think usually they have a list of them. Let's see.
Or while you're looking real quick before going to the final match too, after this match and before the main event, we had the Undertaker come out to his, not even to his, he came out to his American Badass theme, and he comes out and rides around, and they announced a very early announcement because it's not till late April, but announced that Stephanie's going to the Hall of Fame, well deserved. I was happy for her, so that's pretty cool. Stephanie McMahon going to the Hall of Fame, so.
Yeah, and her reaction was great too because she was like, "What?" I mean, you could tell she was genuinely shocked by it. Like she didn't have any idea. And then I've seen a video where Triple H is watching it, and just the joy on his face, like when he catches her off guard and she doesn't see it coming. It was I thought it was I thought it was well done, and an interesting kind of way to do it. And I think the only disappointing thing is the American Badass Undertaker was not my favorite. I just love the old school, the dong, and then
I don't think it'll work for that spot though.
That's true. You know what I mean? Like there was that when that bell hit, I just went back to 9-10 years old, and I was like, "Oh," and Lana was like, "Dad, who is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's going to be the best." And then and again, it was fine, but it just when you hear that bell, it just man, I was like in my head, I'm watching him walk the ropes, and all those things that he used to do. And
so my friend, he's got he's got a boy and a girl. They're twins, and they're 6 years old, and they're playing youth baseball right now. And he told me a couple weeks ago that she was going to do this. Well, last night they had the first game. They get walk-up music, and she's been watching wrestling with her brother, and she comes out to the Undertaker's music, and when she gets in the batter's box, she raised her hands.
Oh no!
It is amazing. He sent me the video
awesome
last night. It is incredible.
That's great. Awesome. So producer of the match, TJ Wilson.
Okay.
So you had Michael Hayes produce the Lesnar Cena match. Bobby Roode and Sean Veery, the Vision versus the Usos. Nick Aldis and Petey Williams for the Io Sky Stephanie McCare match.
Well, you know who TJ Wilson is, right?
I think so.
It's Tyson Kidd.
Yeah, it's he's been out of the ring for a while.
He had a lot of injuries and neck stuff and stuff.
And then our main event, McIntyre Rhodes, Abyss and Adam Pearce.
They dropped the ball.
Yeah, this
was like a SmackDown match. I don't know. And we never expected to be the main event. We thought it was going to be Cena Lesnar, and then they did that pivot. But I thought, hey, this is going to be the main event, so something big's going to happen at the end. somebody's coming back. Like we're getting an Orton heel turn or Drew's going to win. Something's going to happen, and it was nothing. And like right when the match ended, the show ended. It like
So
they gave no room to even think something was going to happen.
so
Because
Brandon,
Yeah, I was expecting McIntyre to hit another through the announce table, put Cody's head through it, and then right before he gets the pin, Orton comes down and makes a save. So yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like a main event.
so what you guys telling me it was this?
I mean, Drew hit an Alabama slam on Cody on the stairs. That was kind of cool. And then Drew had the win, and the ref like flew out of the ring, and Barrett like kind of harped on it too. He it was weird. He like ran out of the ring, slid, and then came back in. He didn't get knocked out, and so like Drew had a pin for like 8 there. They didn't make him get bumped or nothing. He just ran out of the ring, like he slid out of the ring on his own.
It was like he, instead of just moving out of the way, he chose to exit the ring.
Yeah,
I've never seen him do that. It was strange.
And then Cody won, and then
I'm just like the Drew McIntyre as a character. Like, I mean, he's this bad guy, but like he doesn't ever win. Like, I feel like you put a guy that hasn't won a big match on a pay-per-view in I don't know how long, like real. He's just, I don't know. I didn't really care because I knew Cody was going to win.
But then make it the main event. I just thought something was gonna happen, and it didn't. So
he needs something. He needs some cronies, or he needs something. He does great work as far as, you mentioned it earlier, like going online and tweeting stuff and all that. But I feel like he needs something. Like he
and Triple H had a big dust up. Like they ended up showing it later, I think on online, but he pretty much was like, I'm done. And Triple H was trying to calm him down, and he was like, no, I'm out of here. And so almost like he was quitting. And so I can't remember, I think I saw it on Twitter or somewhere anyway, but it was like essentially like Triple H is trying to tell him something about after the match, and he kind of blows him off and was like, bump this, I'm out of here, I'm not coming back. And
I wonder if it's one of those that they released it on purpose type. I had the
I'm sure it was one of those like something's going to happen with a character turn or some kind of something, but they kind of teased him leaving. So I don't know if he's getting a break, or I don't know if he's going to and then I think they, you said they ended the show abruptly, and then you get the post match where, Seth and Cody kind of, have the belt off there and the stare down, for Crown Jewel. And
I'm still not a huge fan of this like Crown.
Yeah, I'm not like they had a good feud at one time, and when Cody first came, and then the injuries. But I'm not looking. I don't care about
it's like let's interrupt all feuds that are going on right now, and then let's just put our two. Like they're not on the same show. They don't really.
Well, and I feel like last year they did. I feel like that was requested from Saudi, but I don't think at Australia, your main event probably should just be Rhea Ripley against somebody.
Yeah.
Like they did her and I had the last one, and it was and everybody loved it because it's Rhea Ripley. So
did you see the Monday night spot with Cody and Seth?
Yeah, and
that was an interesting. I mean, they kind of played it well. I thought they did okay with it. Like
I don't really care about the match.
Yeah, Cody's giving him the old we've been 1-on-1 3 times. Will that be the case this time? Oh, and by the way, in those 3 matches, what's your record? And then he kind of walks off, and then he realizes he kind of caught himself between the Bronze and Seth, and then Seth kind of let him go.
So here's an idea. This could be where the Vision gets involved. They cost Cody to lose. You go into Survivor Series. Now Cody's on a team against the Vision.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely doing that.
So you could have that could be a reason why Cody joins the team against the Vision now, if he gets cost winning that.
Yeah, and maybe Randy comes back around to, you could go a lot of ways with that. You could bring in a lot of different. You could get Jay even in there with the Vision, and
you had Paul Heyman talking to Brock. I mean, you mentioned it a while ago. I mean, I don't know. And then Cena is mad at Brock, so maybe he joins that. I don't know. I'll interested to see how they all kind of. I just want it to make sense. Like I don't like when it's like, hey, let's just randomly pick a guy to join the team.
Yeah. I think this feels more like some long-term storytelling. I think some of that was, but it did. You do feel bad for Drew, who kind of just got it's almost like they just kind of wax over him again. You know, I mean, he carried the company for the pandemic, and again, I mean, you feel bad because he could be somewhere. He could be doing something somewhere. You know, the U.S. title, something. You know, I don't know, but it just feels like he's kind of like on a limb, and every once in a while he kind of interjects himself into something. And
Who has the U.S. title right now?
Fatu, right?
No.
No,
No.
Sammy.
Oh yeah, Sami Zayn. That's right.
That's right. Okay.
And they've kind of run that one before too, but I don't know. It just feels like Drew's kind of like, you feel bad for him because he's got some ability, but then it's like, which of the you're not going to probably knock off Cody or Seth, right? Because they're your big names, but at the same time, like, you got to give Drew some. I don't know. It just seems like a weird spot for him.
Yeah. I mean, this card overall, guys, I mean, it was just, to me. Like, I saw ESPN had kind of given it some bad reviews online. Like, they tried to bring all these names and stuff to it. But, I mean, we talked about it, like, opening match. Yeah, I didn't really care for it. I mean, Lesnar won. I wish they had done it differently. Second match, it's just the Visions and the Vision versus the Usos. I don't know. It was fine, I guess. I don't know. It didn't really. I don't know. Did it advance the storyline to you guys? I mean, it didn't really. I mean, the two matches that I cared about were that third and fourth match, the Stephanie Vicaire win, and then the AJ Lee CM Punk win. Those matches carried the card for me. Those were my two favorite. The other matches I could have watched them on Raw or SmackDown or any other show.
Well, and I wonder if they put, in hindsight, if you put Io and Vicaire after Cody and Drew, maybe the Cody and Drew match doesn't seem as lackluster. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it was the order, but I thought the Sky and Vicaire match was. I mean, again, I like the mixed tag, but I thought the Sky and Vicaire match was hands down the best match of the night. Like, they work really well together. They're both dynamic. Like, I thought it was good, and again, I'm a big Vicaire fan. I think she's got all the talent in the world, and I think somebody said it online, so I'm stealing this, but somebody said it would be really cool with like Asuka and some of them if they would just let them do the promo in their native language and then do the closed caption and then have like somebody translating, like they have those things now where, like, we talked about, like, your AirPods can translate now. And so, like, you could do something where they knew what was coming in the promo. And I think that would help some of those characters. And then you could see the line across the bottom of what they were saying in English, and I don't know. But I think Vicaria's done a good job. And I think she's, like, I love the whole line, like, English isn't my first language, but wrestling is, right? Like, and so then you're like, okay, and I thought it was really cool. The moment with her dad was cool.
Yeah. And then they had it on the pay-per-view and then on Monday too.
Yeah, and then he's walking her in on Monday Night Raw. I just think that was a cool angle to play up, and for a kid from another country, from Chile, to come in, and I think that builds the brand too. And and again, there's going to be a bunch of little girls that are watching that going, hey, that could be me too someday, and so I thought they did well. And I think Io Sky can work with almost anybody, and I think she's underrated, and so I don't know. I thought it was good. And like I said, that you've got possibilities with Vicaire. You could bring Julia in again. You could bring, there's a lot of things you could do with that one. So I thought that was my favorite match of the night, and the one that kept me the most intrigued. And, then the mixed tag was second, just because of Seth and how much hate there is between them.
Well, you got the next card, WWE is, of course, the No Mercy card this weekend for NXT. Main roster, though, you got Crown Jewel October 11th.
It's my birthday weekend.
And then, all right, we get a nice birthday present. Hopefully, it'll be worth it there for you, Brendan.
Well, it's good. And that's another, but it's going to be at like 4 a.m. because it's in Australia. So I'll be getting back from Royce City. Then I won't be getting back from Royce City till about 1 a.m. Then son's got a football game, and then we're going to Sunbird for my birthday. So I won't even get to watch it till later that night. But we also got Texas OU that day. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I think that's I know for Tyler ISD, that's fall break too. So like, I think the kids have off Friday and Monday. We're off Friday. And we've got soccer that weekend. So I probably won't see it till late afternoon, evening.
And then Wrestle Dream that weekend too?
It's the next weekend, October 18th.
Okay, yeah.
So you got back-to-back weekends. Hey, at least it's split,
Yeah.
But that would probably be the next time we'll talk before Crown Jewel. We'll kind of see where everything goes.
Hey, also real quick, did y'all see the PWI 500? Like released, I think yesterday or today. It comes out in like the next magazine, but it released online. I'm not gonna go with the whole 500. Obviously, I'll give the top 20 real quick, just to.
All right.
This has got notable names. We got Cody at 1, Moxley at 2, and also side note, this is from August 1st of last year through July 31st of this year. That's the evaluation period, and so it's Cody 1, Moxley 2, Gunther 3, Hangman 4, Haruki Goto 5, Jey Uso 6, Swerve 7, Seth 8, Mystico 9, and Ospreay is 10. And then 11 through 20 is Okada, Joe Hendry, Zack Sabre Jr., Obafemi, CM Punk, Bandito, Konosuke Takeshita, Damian Priest, which I thought he's way higher than I would have expected, Trick Williams, and Jacob Fatu.
Okay. That's a good mixture.
Fatu seems a little low at 20. But again, that's probably because he got stuck feuding with Solo. So
I thought Priest was a little high. I get the time frame too. Priest had some big moments at that span, I guess. And
That's interesting that there were several TNA NXT names getting in the mix too. In that,
I wonder where Dirty Dom's ranked. That's what I want to know.
Let's see. Some other like LA Knight's 22, Bronze 24, Mascara Dorada's right in between them. Where's Dirty Dom?
Where's Roman Reigns? I just want
he hadn't been around.
I know, but he's still a draw.
Here we go. So Drew's 46, Javon Evans 47, and then Dirty Dom 48, and then Matt Riddle 49. And then Jericho 54.
I'm surprised. To me, Dom's too low.
Yeah.
And again, maybe that's because he does a lot of his work other places.
No, but like other places gives you a lot of. That's where that's why Mystico's so high and some others. But I think it's that time frame. I think if it was from January to this December, he'd be higher. And I think next year's he'll be way higher.
Yeah.
Especially if he goes on this run with his AAA title. Yeah, I don't even see Roman Reigns on here. I guess because he wasn't around.
I mean, Roman Reigns shows up for 3 dates and he's better than probably over half of those on the list. I mean, he just has that factor.
Oh, wait, I found him. No, that's not him. Yeah, I don't think he's on here. I think you have to do a certain, because what it takes into account is your win-loss record, your championships won, quality of competition, major feuds, prominence within a wrestler's promotion, and overall wrestling ability. Like, I don't think he had enough dates this year to get on there, because obviously
it's
Cena's
like the stat list where it's like minimum of so many plate appearances or minimum of so many passes.
Because Cena's not on here obviously either, and
Cena won a world title this year. It has this year, as far as from that stretch, he had a pretty good amount of dates.
Yeah, but I don't see him on here. At least
sure.
not in the top 100.
Well, that's very interesting. All right. Final thoughts of the whole weekend. Jeremy, what do you think about just the wrestling in general, overall thoughts?
I think the surprising thing was just, again, Wrestlepalooza being the first big one on ESPN. I was surprised there weren't more or bigger matches. And again, they knew this was coming. It wasn't a shock. It wasn't put together last minute, and maybe some injuries and some things led to it. But I was a little surprised that there were a couple of duds on there, just because of the magnitude of switching over. And again, I need to go back and watch some more of the AEW. It's just such a long one. I'll have to kind of do the speed run through it again and go back through. But, I think, and maybe the name should have given it away that they called it Wrestlepalooza. I don't know. It just didn't really have anything. It just didn't feel big from the beginning. The draw, lead up to it, whatever. But you would have thought it would have been bigger just because it being ESPN's first run. But
But you said it wasn't thrown together. Well, it technically was because it wasn't even like supposed to be a thing until like what mid-July. Like
I guess so.
This started even later than that. Like I mean, until they announced the partnership, and then they're like, oh well, let's throw a show. Oh, because AEW's got a show that night, so it was kind of thrown together. But they really sold it because it was the first ESPN thing. And they were on SportsCenter all week like they would be for WrestleMania or SummerSlam. They sold it like it was a big deal, and then it was better than like a Saturday Night Main Event, but it was like another one of their pay-per-view. It was like another one of their pillies. It wasn't like they sold it like it was going to be like a big four, and it would nowhere living. And I don't know if we should have been expecting that, but that's what they wanted us to believe. And also, like, I didn't have any issues, but I know Kyle had some issues. I know other people had issues, and one of my favorite radio shows I listened to. It's not a wrestling show, but they wanted to watch Wrestlepalooza too, and they had like issues getting onto the they're subscribed, but it was like they were having trouble. Apparently, the ESPN app made it more difficult than it should have been for this first one. So,
yeah.
Well, and I guess that's the thing. Like, yeah, they blew it up big, and they hyped it up big, and then and again, maybe it's kind of like that thing where somebody tells you about their favorite restaurant and they hype it, then you have it, and you're like, like they almost hurt themselves by overblowing what it was going to be like, and it was supposed to be multiple surprises, and really the only surprise was Stephanie McMahon going to the Hall of Fame. That was really the biggest surprise of the night. I was expecting more interference. I was expecting somebody's big return. Like, I just don't think it just didn't feel like you said, it didn't feel like a big PLE. It didn't feel
I guess technically from Brett's perspective, what Triple H counts as a surprise, like, I guess Brett and others weren't expecting Brock to just destroy Cena like that. So.
Yeah.
See, surprise is one thing, like, just terrible match. Like a terrible match. That's just a terrible match for me. Like,
we did get McAfee back.
Yeah, that was a plus.
Well, we knew he was coming. So.
But it was weird because he was there for 3 matches and he left, and then I was like,
and we got Barrett came back, snuck it back in too. So
yeah, so then
I think Corey's gotten written off, because I think about Brock destroying him there not. So.
Yeah, I don't think he's been. I wonder though now if he's going to get back in the ring.
Yeah,
obviously he's cleared if he can get F5'd a couple times.
Yeah, they also got another kid coming pretty soon. So.
Okay, well that would probably make sense. Well, my overall take is okay. So for what I saw again of AEW, I thought if we could have trimmed the fat, I think y'all mentioned it. If we could have trimmed out several matches, it was great. I think overall, like, it had some surprises, it had some craziness, some blood, some maybe some pins that we didn't expect to happen. It had some different stuff. I think it was just too long. That's my main complaint about it. It had some extra matches that we didn't need.
Yeah, they actually had the surprises.
Yeah, they did, and I like those. It was good. You had some cool returns and some good matches. And then from WWE, I think it just fell short to me as far as, like, again, there was 2 matches that I was tuned in, locked in, but I didn't care about some of the other ones. And then Cena got squashed. To me, that's a waste. Like, he's going out. I understand you want to make Brock look strong, but do you really need to? He walks out and he's that guy. Like, he's already over. Like, why do we need to squash Cena, make him look like, well, he's our greatest of all time. We just squashed him. Like, I didn't understand that. I mean, maybe it'll play out later, and I'm hoping that Cena gets it back on him at some point, but we'll see. But I think there were 2 different styles. But I thought overall, like, I mean, AEW, as far as match quality and surprises and stuff, had it out. I think my favorite matches were probably in the WWE ones, because I really enjoyed those too. But in AEW, for what I was expecting, I think AEW was like, maybe I was expecting right here, and I got more. And then WWE, I was expecting a lot more, and I didn't get as much as I was expecting, especially for your first chance to hit some of these ESPN viewers that may never watched wrestling before. You had a chance to really do something, and I think they dropped the ball.
And that's why they opened with Lesnar and Cena too. But
then you open with that, like, hey, this is our greatest of all time, Cena, and he gets just squashed.
but like Jeremy said earlier, is the part of that was, you had Lesnar in UFC and you saw him for some people that might have hit because you believe Lesnar as a guy that's going to destroy people. So for some people that might have drew people in, especially if they're not attached to Cena.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's my final thoughts, and I guess that's pretty much going to do it for tonight's show. For Dirt Sheet, Brandon Ogden, Jeremy the Jim Diamond, and our missing in action, KO Kyle Owens. I'm Mr. Ned at Sin, Brett 20, signing off for this evening for episode 50, Off the Ropes. We'll catch you next time right here on Ned at Sin. Good night, everybody.
Something about the night is magic we can't explain. Every time the sun goes down, feel everything change. Feel my body buzzing, feel my temperature range. Every night, a brand new page. Feel you next to me, lost in a dream. Feel you holding me, my head is spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning.
Turn up loud.